We have been waiting for what feels like forever to get some info on Madden 21, and guess what? We finally got it. Now, the trailer showed us some really good things, but also some really bad things. But with that being said, I have over 21 things the debut sizzle trailer showed us, and some of those things you probably missed. And while you watch, don't forget to leave me a comment down below to tell me what do you think of Madden 21, the different features we're covering, and don't forget to subscribe because I have so much Madden 21 info coming to you guys soon. Now, a fair warning, if you're expecting news on Madden's franchise mode, well, to be honest, you're gonna be disappointed. But that being said, there's some hope, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. One of the first things we learned is that Lamar Jackson is the cover of Madden 21, but to be honest, that kind of leaked a little bit ago, so it's not that big of a surprise. The game's official release date is August 28th, but we kind of knew that because it leaked a little bit ago. But if you pre-order the Deluxe or MVP edition, you get 3 days early access, so do the math, that's August 25th. I get it though, enough about all that stuff. Let's talk about the gameplay sizzle trailer that launched today and some of the hidden things you probably didn't pick up on. The sizzle reel opens up with our first look at the Las Vegas Raiders' brand new stadium, Allegiant Stadium. We quickly then look at the only good thing the Bengals have going for them, the #1 overall pick, Joe Burrow. Patriot fans are still crying all those tears over, I guess, their championship ring, so maybe crying isn't that bad. But here's your first look at Tom Brady in a Bucs uniform in Madden 21. And while Tom Brady is an old face showing up in a new place, we get a new face showing up in a new place with Tua Tagovailoa. But right here is our first real look at the big feature Madden 21 is touting, the skill stick. EA is calling the skill stick something that allows you to have adjustments that provide innovative ground moves that let you chain together skill moves like stopping on a dime, stutter step, spin, slide hurdle, and dead leg for brand new crazy moments in the game. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm all for this. Putting moves into a game that provide a skill gap for players, I'm always going to be for, but with how crazy and overpowered running in Madden 20 was, I'm a little nervous to have it even more overpowered potentially in Madden 21. Lamar Jackson's new X Factor also gets shown here, but we don't exactly get insight into what it was. With as many moves he's pulling off while getting hitting here, I feel like maybe it has something to do with not fumbling, but I could be wrong. Anyone who used Lamar Jackson in Madden 20 knows that you were basically one hit away from fumbling every single time, and it was frustrating because that dude doesn't really fumble that often in real life. And with EA touting X Factor 2.0, if one of the moves for Lamar means that he's not going to fumble, that's great if he's on my team, but bad if I'm playing against him. Next up, we're getting great looks at slide hurdle skill moves from Christian McCaffrey, Darius Geis, and Saquon Barkley, followed up by our first look at the new dead leg skill move from Le'Veon Bell. The Chargers in uniforms get a shot, and they're absolutely beautiful. We get a look at Christian McCaffrey pulling off a speed juke, but after a few other moves, we get a look at the new pass rushing mechanics. In Madden 20, if you wanted to go ahead and win a pass rush move, you had to press a button at a certain time, and it was honestly a little frustrating. But this year they're switching it up. Just like on offense with the skill stick, you can actually use a defender to use a spin, a rip, a bull rush, or other moves at your disposal to try to win and beat that offensive lineman. You can choose the move you want via a directional stick input with full control to branch to a combo move at any time. Keep in mind though, defenders have limited moves allowed per play to keep you from spamming it, and offensive linemen will start to build up resistance to moves performed repeatedly. And if you pay attention, you'll see Matthew Judon get what looks like a bull rush super win or mega win of some sort where he tosses the Bengals player to the ground. Now, I don't want that kind of animation every single time, but if you have a guy who is significantly better than the offensive counterpart and you time things perfectly right, that's kind of cool to see. Joey Bosa also comes up with a strip sack, but I believe that was an animation that we saw in Madden 20 every so often. The Rams' new uniforms to me still look like if ice cream were turned into a font, and we also see D Ford show off the speed rush. Khalil Mack's new rip move looks great, and JJ Watt shows off a spin move, and we can get our first real look at Chase Young, who in my opinion is going to dominate the NFC East for a long time. Next up, we're moving on to realistic open field tackling, and to be honest, I'm a little nervous. This has been a pain point for the series for a long time, especially because offensive ball carriers have gotten so much better and so many different moves. We'll see if EA can keep up. Something that's interesting though is that it looks like Bobby Wagner is performing a breakdown tackle. I think we saw this in Madden 20 using strafe plus tackle, but maybe the mechanic has been reworked because hardly anyone seems to use it. If you've thrown a single pass in Madden 20, you probably know the frustration of being 75% through your throw, knowing you've got a guy wide open, and because the sack is about to be initiated, your guy tucks the ball and breaks physics. It's frustrating, but this clip makes me a little optimistic. So right here, you can see Joe Burrow and TJ Watt. Burrow's in the middle of his throw, TJ Watt's about to hit him, and so for me at least, it looks like they're at least addressing it as he gets rid of it slightly before Watt comes through for the big hit. As the gameplay footage closes, a piece that I'm actually a little bit more excited about after watching this a couple of times is Matt Breida's juke. And realistically, I forgot that he actually went to Miami in the offseason. A major issue in Madden 21, in my opinion, is you pull off a crazy juke or spin or whatever it was, but your guy oftentimes didn't have enough speed to evade the next defender. Now it looks like, at least for some players, that might be an option. And also close to the end, we're seeing user-controlled celebrations, but we aren't really given much information outside of that. One of the big questions I have is, will they be controlled past what we saw in Madden 20, where you can go with signature, team, or similar options? Or will we see something similar to Fortnite, where you can select specific celebrations to trigger after pulling off a big play? Could we even see celebrations be able to be triggered on sacks, big hits, and on scoring plays? That's what I want to know. The last major piece is a contextual move by Lamar Jackson to stretch for the goal line as he's being hit. Some of the tackles shown throughout the footage seem to showcase the defensive and offensive players have a better sense of where they're at in the field, and hopefully this impacts close first down plays as well. Now, earlier in the video, if you remember, I talked about how Madden franchise players shouldn't really be happy with Madden 21. And here's ultimately why. When Madden 21 listed out sort of the ways to play the game, they talk about franchise mode, and here's what they said. Play through a full NFL career and leave your legacy as a player, coach, or owner with single player and multiplayer online connected leagues. Connect with up to 32 teams in your quest for a Super Bowl dynasty, complete each season with a bid to the annual Pro Bowl, and earn seasonal rewards. And as you can tell, that seems, reads, and feels just like what we've seen every single year from Madden on the franchise side for the past couple of years. And in my opinion, that's unacceptable. But before we grab our pitchforks, or 1997 limbo trophies, because I don't have a pitchfork, let's pump the brakes for a second. We should give them a couple of weeks to say what they have to say about the mode. Ultimately, I'm not optimistic, and I feel like franchise mode is going to be bare bones for yet another year, but we have seen in their development cycle, they've trickled out information mode after mode, so maybe we'll get lucky and there's franchise mode news, but I'm not optimistic whatsoever. What has me a little excited, oddly enough, is Face of the Franchise Rise to Fame. Look, I'll be the first person to tell you I've played over 70 plus episodes of that series on my channel. That mode is not perfect. That mode is rough around the edges in a lot of ways, but there are little elements that give me some hope that we could have a legit superstar style career mode at some point for Madden. This year, you'll start your journey in high school. Your career will start as a high school quarterback, but before you head off to college, you'll have an opportunity to pivot to either running back or wide receiver in college. This is huge because as you guys saw in Face of the Franchise last year, you were stuck being a quarterback. Whether you wanted to be a running back, receiver, or some other position, it didn't matter. You had to be a QB. And personally, I'd love to see the opportunity to be a running back from the beginning or a wide receiver from the beginning and not have to do the whole quarterback thing. But it is what it is. Madden is giving us this option, so we should just be thankful for that. In addition to 2 new positions, it sounds like the mode got a little bit of TLC along the way. EA stated, the way you play determines the story you write, affecting your legacy as you rise up the draft ranks and go all out to establish your status as an NFL immortal. What should be noted is they also mentioned the Hall of Fame journey, which, if I'm crossing my fingers and toes and arms and everything else, it sounds like we might actually get an opportunity to experience canon. Or maybe we're just going to have that same retirement screen where you can select retire or create a new character. But honestly, if we get a legit Hall of Fame experience or Hall of Fame journey like they're touting it, that has to mean canon. In regards to other modes, Superstar KO, Exhibition, and Madden Ultimate Team are obviously all returning. Madden 21 is also touting a new feature called Advanced AI, and I gotta admit, I'm intrigued. Here's what EA had to say, and you let me know in the comments down below what you feel like this is actually talking about, and you'll understand what I mean here in a second. Computer-controlled teams and quarterbacks will start making in-game adjustments to your tendencies. They will start to notice trends when facing repeated play calls, starting using audibles, adjustments, and concept counters during the game to combat your strategy. AI-controlled quarterbacks will play to their archetypes, while mobile quarterbacks will make plays on the run. Pocket passers will intelligently read the field. Diversify your play calling against top quarterbacks in the game to keep them guessing. And look, while the computer-controlled version of offense and quarterbacks will make all these adjustments and audibles and different reads, that's great. But what about the defense? The fact that the defense wasn't called out a little bit more specifically there is a little alarming to me, but again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I think a lot of us want to know how the defense is going to react. Are they going to make smarter plays? Are they not going to make smarter plays? Is this AI only for offense, or does it impact defense too? If we're playing someone online, whether it's in MUT or head-to-head or even on our couch, does the defense that we're not controlling on our team actually play better if they're running the same play over and over? That has positives, but it also has a lot of negatives, so I think we need clarification there. At the end of the day, when you look at this short sizzle trailer that EA dropped that, in my opinion, was mostly or all about gameplay, there's a lot to be cautiously optimistic about. Franchise mode fans are still being absolutely shafted, and MUT is getting the vast majority of the gameplay benefits, and I get it, that's how it ultimately has to be in this day and age, but I'm holding out a little hope that franchise gets some announcements in the future, or maybe we see a new mode that caters to everybody. I'll hold out my hope though. But enough about what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of Madden 21? Tell me what you're most excited about and also what you're least excited about. I'd love to hear it. And if you want to stay up to date with all the Madden 21 news and info as it drops, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that little sub button, check the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.